Hey everyone! So, have you ever asked an AI to write some code for you, and what you get back is, well, not exactly helpful? If that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to talk about how to level up your coding prompts, turning those vague ideas into detailed blueprints that get you production-ready code like right now. I mean, come on, we've all been here. You type in something super simple, like write a function to sort a list, and what do you get? This. The most basic, bare-bones function imaginable. Sure, it technically works, but there's no error handling, zero documentation, it's not flexible at all. You can't actually use this in a real project. So yeah, are you tired of this back and forth? What if, instead of wasting your time fixing and beefing up that generic code, you could just get what you need right from the start? That's not a fantasy. That is the power of a really, really good prompt. And here's how we're going to get you there. We'll start with the vague prompt problem and why it's a huge time sink. Then we'll peek under the hood to see how AI actually thinks about code. From there, we'll break down the anatomy of a killer prompt, see it in action, and then wrap it all up with the key takeaways you can start using today. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the vague prompt problem. We're going to dig into why those quick one-line requests you're making are secretly costing you way more time than you think. Just think about the scale of this for a second. Some studies show developers spend nearly half their time, like 40%, on repetitive tasks. But look at the opportunity here. With the right prompts, AI can slash that wasted time by up to half. That is a huge boost in productivity, and it all comes down to how you ask. And that really brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. The one thing you need to remember: the quality of your prompts directly determines the quality of your code. It's that simple. Garbage in, garbage out. A detailed blueprint is what gets you a solid, production-ready structure. So that leads us right into Section 2, how AI thinks in code. Because to write better prompts, you gotta understand what's actually happening inside the black box. And you know what? It's all about patterns and context. So first things first, let's totally redefine what a coding prompt is. Stop thinking of it like a question. It's not a question. It's a detailed blueprint. It's your set of architectural plans that tells the AI exactly what to build, how it needs to work, and the standards it has to follow. So, how does the AI even use this blueprint? Well, it's not magic. These models have seen billions with a B of lines of code from all over the internet, places like GitHub and Stack Overflow. It doesn't understand code like we do. What it does is recognize patterns, common ways of doing things, and popular solutions. And this is the secret sauce. Your prompt is basically a search query for all those patterns it's learned. A vague prompt like sort a list pulls up the most generic kindergarten-level pattern it can find. But a specific, detailed prompt, one that talks about error handling, performance, documentation, that activates the high-quality, professional, production-level patterns from its training. Okay, let's get to the really practical stuff. Section 3, the anatomy of a great prompt. We're going to break down the 5 essential components you need to build into your prompts to get perfect code pretty much every time. Here they are. Number 1, role assignment. You tell the AI you are an expert Python developer. 2, a clear task spec. What exactly are we building? 3, requirements and constraints. This is crucial. It's where you list edge cases, what errors to handle. 4, context and examples. Tell it what libraries to use or maybe show it your existing code style. And finally, 5, the output format. You have to ask for the docs and the tests. Now, just look at the night and day difference this makes. On the left, our sad little original prompt. On the right, a prompt built with our 5-part framework. It assigns a role, it specifies the function name, it details requirements like handling empty lists and non-integers, and it specifically asks for docstrings and type hints. This is the difference between a toy and a professional tool. Okay, so you've got the framework. Now for Section 4, prompts in action. Because it's not just about how you write the prompt, it's also about choosing the right AI tool for the right job. Yeah, not all models are the same when it comes to coding. You can think of this as a quick cheat sheet. If you're wrestling with some really complex logic or tough algorithms, GPT-4 is an absolute beast. For super clean, readable code and refactoring jobs, Claude 3.5 really shines. Working across a bunch of files, Gemini 1.5 Pro's huge context window is a game changer. And for those pure algorithmic puzzles, O1 is a fantastic choice. So what are the perfect jobs for these AI assistants? Well, think of these 6 areas as the sweet spot. Generating all that boilerplate code, debugging a tricky function that's got you stuck, refactoring messy code, getting a simple explanation of complex logic, writing unit tests, and even getting a first pass on a code review.
But, and this is just as important, you need to know when not to use AI. So here's the bottom line. It's awesome for boilerplate and well-known algorithms, but you should absolutely avoid it for security-critical code, for designing the entire architecture of an application, and most importantly, never, ever use code that you don't personally understand and couldn't maintain yourself.
All right, let's bring it all home. Section 5, your key takeaways. These are the core principles that I promise you will immediately make you a way better AI prompter. First, make that 5-component framework a habit for every prompt: role, task, requirements, context, and format. Second, remember that specificity is your best friend. Be explicit about edge cases and error handling. Third, iterate. The first answer you get is just a starting point. Refine it. And last, and this one is non-negotiable, you have to review and test everything the AI gives you. You are still the engineer in charge. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Your AI is an incredibly powerful assistant. Truly. It's capable of building amazing things, but it can only ever build what's in the plans. So the question is, are you giving it the right blueprints?